So this is pretty cool. This is a living fossil tree frozen in time for 66 million years, being planted in secret locations. And a tree thought to have gone extinct 2 million years ago was rediscovered in 1994, and that in 1994, hikers in Australia's Blue Mountain stumbled upon a relict stand of these ancient conifers. Now, only around 60 of them remain in Wollemi National Park. They are threatened by Phytophthora cinnamomum. We were just talking about cinnamon. That was so weird. It's literally, this is the species name, cinnamomum, a pathogenic water mold that causes dieback and rampant wildfires that intermittently rage through the regions of South Wales. Since its discovery, Wollemi pines have grown in botanical gardens and private spaces around the world. Wollemi Pine Recovery Team, a partnership between Australian government scientists and conservationists, have begun the process of reintroducing seedlings to 3 sites in Wollemi National Park. And that's pretty cool. They've actually done pretty similar stuff before with famous trees. That's kind of funny. Maybe we should do an episode of famous trees, or like a little segment about it one day. So many different little angles that we can go through. But what I was going to say was that with previous famous trees, they've taken seedlings from that have gone to outer space and frozen, and like all these different things, circumstances that stuff has lived through or been brought back. And for example, the ones from space, they took those and planted them all over the place secretly, because people will go and destroy the famous trees, which is a shame. That's kind of mind-boggling for me, but yeah, so they're planted secretly, and like that's kind of trippy to think about, that there's all these secret famous trees planted throughout the entire world for various reasons. Some of them have been to space and back, and you might not even know it. And like one of them was planted like in Portland, Oregon, I think, or some big city. And so like imagine all these people looking at this tree and not realizing that that tree has literally been to space and back and planted there, and you don't even realize it. That's pretty mind-blowing. So this one is extremely cool. I love this. Record-smashing Chinese Maglev hyperloop train hits 387 miles per hour and can someday outpace a plane. The T-Flight is a Maglev train that hit a record-breaking speed of 387 miles per hour on a short test track. But engineers want to double that rate so that the train can carry passengers at speeds faster than if they were traveling by a plane. China says its Maglev hyperloop train has broken the world speed record in a test run, reaching a blistering 387 miles per hour, or 623 kilometers per hour. Ultimately, its makers want to build a train more than 3 times as fast that will break the sound barrier and outpace airplanes. The Maglev train, dubbed the T-Flight, was built by the state-owned China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, New Atlas reported. Hyperloop trains work by pushing magnetically levitating pods through tunnels with very little air resistance. The previous record holder for the fastest Maglev train was the L0 series SC Maglev in Japan, which hit a top speed of 375 miles per hour, or 630 kilometers an hour. To test the new train, Kasich built a track roughly 1.2 miles long in a low-pressure vacuum tube. To reach such high speeds, the trains must encounter almost no friction. So Kasich smoothed the track to a flatness within 0.01 inches of tolerance, meaning that there is a 0.01 inch difference between the lowest and highest point of the surface. So that's not 0.1, that's 0.01 of an inch. So 1/100th of an inch. The 20-foot wide, 6-meter tunnel also has a geometric size error of less than 0.1 inches, meaning the margin of error against a perfect shape. And the entire pipeline can return to normal pressure in 5 minutes. In the T-Flight's second phase of testing, Kasich aims to extend the track to 37 miles and allow the train to reach speeds of 621 miles per hour or 1,000 kilometers an hour. At this theoretical top speed, the Maglev train would be even faster than a passenger jet, which cruises at an average range between 575 and 600 miles per hour. So it would be 20 miles per hour faster than a jet, like at max speed. But jets rarely travel at max speed until they're really high up in the air. Like, they are not always going that fast. This thing would be going fast at like it would get up to speed really quickly, versus a plane has to do all these maneuvers, and like it's not always going 600 miles an hour. I can promise you that's the top speed. Whenever it gets to 10,000 feet, they can start going really fast. The company's ambitions don't stop there. However, with plans for a connection between Wuhan and Beijing that can reach up to 1,243 miles per hour. Wow. So they want to go even faster, according to a video in 2018. Hyperloop systems can involve more vehicles or pods at speeds much faster than conventional trains, most of which are restricted to 59 miles per hour in the United States. Elon Musk first proposed a Hyperloop system for the US in 2013. I'm not the hugest fan of Elon Musk, but I will give him that. He did do that. But more than a decade later, Musk's vision has yet to see the light of day. One of the biggest companies in the industry, Virgin, shut down its own Hyperloop company, which most recently went by the name Virgin Hyperloop in 2023. And then we have another cool one. New technique to extract gold from old electronics could make a fortune. The researchers devised a new novel way to extract precious metals from electronic waste, a sustainable method that is based on a byproduct from the food industry. And it's pretty lucrative. For each dollar spent, the team suggests you can make $50 of gold. Best of all, they say it's an incredibly environmentally friendly process. The team found that protein fibril sponges made from the protein-rich byproducts from cheese making can be used to extract gold. So it's like byproducts from cheese making. Really, really out there. The fact that I love the most is we're using food industry byproducts to obtain gold from electronic waste. You can't get much more sustainable than that, said Rafael Mezinga, the professor. As detailed in a new paper published in the journal Advanced Materials, the team was able to recover a 450 milligram nugget of 22 karat gold from just 20 old computer motherboards. To do it, the team denatured whey proteins under acidic conditions and high temperatures to create a slurry of protein nanofibrils. They then dried this gel to create a sponge. After dissolving the metal parts of 20 motherboards and ionizing them in a bath, they placed the sponge in the solution to attract the gold ions. By heating their sponge, the team reduced the collected ions into flakes and eventually melted them into a tiny gold nugget. This 450 milligram nugget was 91% gold and 9% copper. At current rates per ounce, that's roughly $33 of gold. According to the team, the energy costs present a mere 50th of the value of gold that can be recovered, making it incredibly profitable process if scaled up. So that is incredible. And electrical waste is a huge, huge problem. The amount of stuff that we just throw away in the West, and it all ends up in Africa or Asia or in the ocean, and we can actually use that stuff. We don't just have to throw it away. And here we have new water batteries are cheaper, recyclable, and won't explode. Water and electronics don't usually mix, but as it turns out, batteries could benefit from H2O. By replacing the hazardous chemical electrolytes used in commercial batteries with water, scientists have developed a recyclable water battery and solved key issues with the emerging technology, which could be a safer and greener alternative. Water batteries are formally known as an aqueous metal ion battery. In a water battery, the electrolytic fluid is water with a few added salts, instead of something like sulfuric acid or lithium salt. Crucially, the team behind the latest advancement came up with a way to prevent these water batteries from short-circuiting. This happens with tiny spiky metal growths called dendrites, which form on the metal anode inside a battery, bursting through battery compartments. Although the new technology is unlikely to replace lithium-ion batteries in the recent future research and development, water batteries could provide a safe alternative to lithium-ion ones in a decade or so, says lead author, chemical scientist Tiani Ma of University of Melbourne, Australia. Lithium-ion batteries, which are found in everything from laptops and phones to electric bikes and cars, can overheat and catch fire. This is because lithium is quite an active metal, which is submerged in an organic electrolyte. Owing to these safety concerns, researchers have long been trying to devise batteries that use different materials but produce the same performance and have similar longevity. Addressing end-of-life disposal challenges that consumers, industry, and governments globally face with current energy storage technology, our batteries can safely be disassembled and the materials can be reused or recycled. So we were just talking about electronic waste, so we need to start coming up with stuff like this. Everything needs to be recyclable immediately. Everything needs to be sustainable and recyclable and be able to be used over and over again. And on that note, we have scientists make a breakthrough in battery technology using tea leaves, a mainstream affordable battery material. This one is also using salt, also. A breakthrough in sodium-ion battery technology could soon lead to a solution for grid-level energy storage. Nanowork reported on a January study published in Advanced Functional Materials in which Harvard University's Dr. Jingkai Zhang and a team of researchers used tea leaf waste to create an affordable and sustainable sodium-ion battery anode. The outlet cited a lack of affordable energy storage options of the scale needed to foster widespread adoption of wind and solar energy. It noted ubiquitous lithium-ion batteries rely on rare or toxic materials and struggle to achieve the combination of low prices, safety, stability, and high cycle life. Sodium-ion batteries, on the other hand, have the potential to reduce the cost of electric vehicles and improve the environmental impact of battery making. In addition to tea leaf stems, coffee grounds have been used in research and development, and the first sodium-ion powered electric vehicle has already been manufactured. Previous attempts at sodium-ion batteries have achieved low cost but suffered too greatly in performance areas like charge capacity, longevity, and charging rates to displace lithium-ion dominance, and much of this stems from fundamental chemistry challenges, as the larger size of sodium ions restrict rapid movement within battery components. This anode, however, lasted over 1,000 cycles, with an energy density comparable to commercial lithium-ion batteries, even before it was primed for stability, according to Nanowork. Using high temperatures, the researchers converted raw tea leaf stems into hard carbon and treated it with acid to lower capacity loss. The porous material allows for electrolyte penetration and the absorption of sodium ions, named TC1400 HCI, it blew existing carbon anodes out of the water with a 70% greater initial capacity, 91% higher efficiency in the first charge-discharge cycle, and 7 to 9 times greater longevity over 500 cycles, NanoWork reported. The outlet also noted its scalable industrial processes. Combined with the abundance of raw tea leaf resources, China's annual output alone exceeds 1 billion kilograms. Dr. Zhang's group believes their biomass approach has the strong potential for real sustainability and positive environmental impact as a mainstream affordable battery material. The battery could cost $5 to $7 per kilogram. This blew my mind for so many different reasons. Just this whole thing was so cool. And I'll come back and talk about this some other time, about similar stuff. But we have something big. We got a big fish to fry here with this one. This is 16 hours ago from physics.org. Nanodevices can produce energy from evaporating tap or seawater. Evaporation is a natural process so ubiquitous that most of us take it for granted. In fact, roughly half of all the solar energy that reaches the Earth drives evaporative processes. Since 2017, researchers have been working to harness the energy potential of evaporation via the hydrovoltaic effect, which allows electricity to be harvested when fluid is passed over a charged surface of a nanoscale device. Evaporation establishes a continuous flow within nanochannels inside of these devices, which act as a passive pumping mechanism. This effect is also seen in microcapillaries of plants, where water transplant occurs thanks to a combination of capillary pressure and natural evaporation. That is so interesting and fascinating. And plants are so intricate and advanced and sophisticated. And like even our highest technologies, we cannot make a plant. They are way past us. Eventually, we will catch up with the plants, I think. Although hydrovoltaic devices currently exist, there is very little understanding of the conditions and physical phenomenon that govern HV energy production at the nanoscale. It's an information gap that Julia Tagliabue, head of Laboratory of Nanoscience for Energy Technology in the School of Engineering, and PhD student Tariq Anwar wanted to fill. They leveraged a combination of experiments and multiphysics modeling to characterize fluid flows, ion flows, electrostatic effects due to solid-liquid interactions, with the goal of optimizing HV devices. Thanks to our novel, highly controlled platform, this is the first study that quantifies these hydrovoltaic phenomenon by highlighting the significance of various interfacial interactions. But in this process, we also make a major finding that hydrovoltaic devices can offer a wide range of salinities, contradicting prior understanding that highly purified water was required for best performance. Okay, this also is making me think of like a whole lot of different stuff that I don't think like we have the time to all talk about all these different things. So I'm just laying the groundwork so that we can come back and touch some of these concepts in the future. And this is all just really interesting. This is only 16 hours ago as well. But the people have talked about similar stuff before, and I'll just leave it at that. A revealing multiphysics model. The researcher's device represents the first hydrovoltaic application of a technique called nanosphere colloidal lithography, which allowed them to create a hexagonal network of precisely spaced silicon nanopliers. Silicon nanopliers. The spaces between the nanopliers created the perfect channels for evaporating fluid samples and could be finely tuned to better understand the effects of fluid confinement in the solid/liquid contact area. Okay, so I'll try to describe the picture here for people that don't have access to seeing the picture, and it's basically they have this container that they put the fluid through, and then they have all these rods, I would call them, that all of the electrons attach to, and that these rods are what forms the circuit for all of the electrons to flow through from the water. And it will explain it right here a little bit more that will make the picture make more sense. It's hard to just look at the picture and know what's going on right away because they're about to explain it, and then you can go back and look at the picture. In most fluidic systems containing saline solutions, you have an equal number of positive and negative ions. However, when you confine the liquid to a nanochannel, only ions with a polarity opposite to that of the surface charge will remain. This means that if you allow liquid to flow through the channel, you will generate currents and charges. Currents and voltages. This goes back to our major finding that the chemical equilibrium for the surface charge of the nanodevice can be exploited to extend the operation of hydrovoltaic devices across the salinity scale. Indeed, as the fluid ion concentration increases, so does the surface charge of the nanodevice. As a result, we can use larger fluid channels while working with higher concentration fluids. This makes it easier to fabricate devices for use with tap or seawater, as opposed to only purified water. So, it was talking about the salinity concentration of the fluid. So the more salt that they have available, the more energy that can move across it, is how I interpreted that. And because HV devices could theoretically be operated anywhere there is no liquid or even moisture like sweat, that could also be used to power sensors for connected devices from smart TVs to health and fitness wearables. With the LNet's expertise in light energy harvesting and storage systems, Maglev is also keen, that's her name, by the way, that is also keen to see how light and photothermal effects could be used to control surface charges and evaporation rates in HV systems. Finally, the researchers also see important synergies between HV systems and clean water regeneration. Natural evaporation is used to drive desalination processes, as fresh water can be harvested from salt water by condensing the vapor produced by evaporative surfaces. Now you can imagine using an HV system to produce both clean water and harness electricity at the same time. So just from, they already are using the evaporation to desalinate the water, to take the salt out of the seawater. Naturally, they're already doing that. They can do that still and get electricity from it, is what he's saying. Like, there's even more that we can, like, take all of the desalination plants and create power with them. Everybody's always talking about how much power desalination plants take. So imagine if they were power plants, if they were adding to the system instead of detracting it. We could have way more fresh water. It's kind of a no-brainer. This is excellent news, though. So I hope that you guys like this little news update and be looking for more stuff. I'll probably do like another food episode soon. I have some more stuff to tell people about with the food. That's just the beginning. All of it's just the beginning. But it's something that it's kind of funny in like a weird way, as it always is. But anyways, I hope that you guys are safe, and yeah, there's more stuff to come. I had to talk about all the batteries this week and the food and all of that. And the Maglev was amazing. Imagine a train going 600 miles an hour. Now, and people have talked about that for before as well, that maglev may be a thing in America and we just don't know about it on the surface. So I'll leave it at that, and hope that you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon.